I went on a walk earlier today. So I was walking, and that's repetitive. That's like someone being. So I was eating earlier, right? And so I was eating. It's like, yeah, you already established that. You didn't need to re-announce that. That fact you just laid down. We already got that. We already got that. That's like sometimes professors, because college is my entire identity. Uh, that's when professors, they say something and they're like, "You got it," and you're like, "Yeah, I got it," and they're like, "Cool." So just remembered this, and it's like, yeah, I just don't ask me the first question. If you were just gonna ask me the second question. Sorry, my lips have been giving me trouble. That's why I took a pause there. But I was walking, going on a walk, and you know what? I'm lying. It wasn't even today. It was yesterday. Today, when this is being recorded right now, this present moment in time, this is the day this episode will go up. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Let me just say, last week I said I was exhausted because I was, and it was because I stayed up late. Well, I have stayed up later this week, but I've come with a what is it? More of an exuberance. I don't really know what that word means. I've come with a more energy. I'm gonna say it confidently. Enough of this second guessing. I've come with a exuberance. Nope. See, it wasn't even confident. It was. I was like, I'm gonna be confident, and then just the delivery was, in shambles. It was tragic to look at, to listen to. That's a fact. But this is later. I am pretty tired, but I really locked in. These next 45 minutes, you and me, you got me, okay? It's just you and me. I'm not paying attention to anything else, okay? I had a cup of tea. I read a chapter of a book. The cup of tea had, 2.5 spoons of sugar, but it's maybe that's what it is. No, I don't think sugar really has an effect on me. Caffeine, that has an effect on me, but sugar, it doesn't quite do it. Doesn't quite do it for me. But you got me, I got you. And let's do this. I was walking earlier today, going on a walk. Late yesterday, not today. Like we already stated, and I was just walking around campus, doing my usual stroll. And I also had to record some little, you might have seen it if you follow me on the gram of Insta. The instant gramification is what it gives you, I think, right? And I was on the Instagram posting some of these, you might know him as Baby Yoda. If you're a little more hardcore, you know him as Grogu. And if you're lost, you probably think that's Alf. Our old friend. But he got really into gardening. So not only did he get a green thumb, but his entire body became green. Anyways, I posted these a little video and a little picture of this Baby Yoda around Davis because that is something I am working on for the school. And so I wanted one of the shots to be, Baby Yoda on the Hutchinson parking garage. The one, everyone goes on it to look at the sunset. It's like the best vantage point. That's what it is, right? Oh man, we got there. So I'm at this vantage point, right? I want to get this nice vantage point, Baby Yoda, the sunset, for one of the shots. And this caused me to, go to the top story of the parking garage. And secret time, I guess. I've never been to the top of the parking garage, and I'm wrapping up my 4th year at Davis. Yeah, I've never. I've told people this. I'm like the anti Aggie of Davis. Like everything you would expect a Davis student to do, I haven't done. And do I feel guilt? Yes. Have I done anything to combat this guilt? Life's a work in progress if you really think about it. Or actually, if you don't think about it at all and you approach it at a surface level way. I don't know what I'm saying. But there's things like I haven't, like I've never, buses are big here, the big red buses. I've never been on a bus. And never been on a bus in Davis. I've never been on the top story of the parking garage. I've never been to a sports game. Because who gives a fuck, What else have I not done? I've never had fun. Never been happy. No. What's something else? I don't think I've ever gone to a frat party. Like I tell people I have. Um, it was more of like a fundraiser thing. It wasn't a frat party, and it was once, but that was it. It was freshman year. It was fall quarter, and a friend from high school. Because like when you're still starting college, uh, this isn't always the case, but I found it to be the case for me. You kind of stick a little bit with the high school crowd just to get your bearings straight, like the first bearing straight. Get it? Like, okay. Um, but I remember like the week leading up to college, like I would go over to, this girl, Anissa. I'd gone to school with her, middle school, high school. So we met in her dorm and we just talked for like an hour. All the people went to high school together. But then, it fades away after even days or weeks or months. You just don't see those people. But I was still seeing one of the people from my high school. I haven't seen him probably in 2 years. And the last time I saw him was at a gas station in my hometown. I don't even remember the last time I saw him in Davis. It was probably the end of my sophomore year. Or beginning my sophomore year. I don't even remember. But this guy invited me and my other friend from high school to this like taco night. And I remember getting there a little late and not knowing where to park my bike because there was just no other bikes there. This is an uneventful story. I just remember getting there and looking at my friend. I'm like, "You smell that, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's really potent." He's like, "Yeah, that's weed." And I was like, "Huh." But it's still potent. Me saying it's potent wasn't. I wasn't saying it's potent and not weed. I'm like, I get it's weed, but it's a potent smell. You know what I'm saying? But we go in and the taco, like you make your. This is fucking stupid. You make your own tacos, and it's like, what the fuck, what are the, you ever get to that point, when you're telling a story and you realize, well, there's nothing exciting about the story. There's no point to the story. You're just retelling events that have happened in the past, and that's what I've been met with now. That halfway through the story, I just want to hit the eject button because there's not. It doesn't. If you were thinking it was gonna get better, I hate to be the guy, but doesn't. It doesn't. Whatever level of bad it is right now, it's only gonna get worse. There's no going up from here. So, but let's just struggle through and finish this bullshit story. Anyways, my friend and I show up late. We assemble our hastily put together taco, and most of the toppings are gone because we'd gotten there a little late. And then we meet up with our friend that invited us, and his eyes are very red. He's a studious guy, so maybe he didn't sleep much the night before. It was probably like around midterms, so that makes sense. And he was like, you guys doing well?" We were like, "Yeah, got our well, I mean, I guess this is technically a taco. He was like, yeah, I see that. Awesome. Getting really huggy, really touchy. Um, I've heard that helps, when you're stressed out. That some of that, one of the love languages, physical touch. So, I think he was trying to get some more love going into his midterm. And he was like, yeah, we got anything. You guys want to smoke out back or get some beers inside? And I was like, I'm good, got a small stomach. So I can only eat this taco. And he's like, what do you think smoking is? Do you think it's a consumption of food? What the fuck do you mean you have a small stomach? Anyway, I put a disclaimer, right? The story wasn't going to get better or have a point. Anyways, my friends and I stuck around for like 10 minutes, realized we had no interest talking to anyone there. And then, we left, and that was it. And then we saw our friend in the coming weeks in the DC. We chatted. That was it. That was the most bullshit story ever. But yeah, I've never, I guess, technically been to a frat party. Been invited. Never gone. I don't want to. But I go on this walk and I go up, I want to get this shot of Grogu on top of this parking structure. And so it, means I have to go up to the top story of it for the first time. And I go up there and I expected to see people because I know people are up there, but I just thought people were up against, the edge of it, looking out. But then I get up there and there's a fucking caravan. It's like a whole star fleet, space fleet of automobiles, man. It's at least 15 cars. Everyone's in their trunks and stuff. All the confused people are in their trunks, but their cars aren't faced the right way. I'm like, okay, you got the spirit of it, but execution, a little shoddy. That's what they called me growing up, a little shoddy. Anyways, and I was surprised. I was like, God damn, I didn't know. I knew this was an event every day, when the sun sets, but damn. This is a true testament to how fucking boring this town is. That so many of you just have to watch the sunset. No, it's extremely beautiful in Davis. I do joke a lot about, like students just watching the same thing every day, and that's the highlight of living in this town. But it is beautiful. I give it full credit to that. I think I'm just jealous. I feel like I'm being upstaged by the sun, and I just, share your shine, bitch. Okay, so don't, if you're already full of energy and light, how about you give us little guys some time to shine? Okay. Fucking attention whore, son. But yeah, I was surprised how many people were up there. And then, Grogu and I didn't make it any less packed. We were up there, fitting in with the crowd. I think I just realized, oh no, this is one of those other stories where, hey, it didn't have a point. So, one thing I want to talk about, I don't know if you guys know, Davis they've been preaching it for a while, and now it's finally coming to fruition. It's happening. Everyone, gather around. It's finally happening. We've announced we're coming back in person for the fall. Wow, exciting stuff, folks. And so because of this glorious announcement, there's been chatter, there's been talk of the town. What is it? Well, you remember I did the UC Davis Roundtable, right? With the beautiful cast, the wonderful cast. Well, we have, the Instagram group chat. And Prince, the lovely Prince, son of a king, he, sparked conversation in there and said, we are coming back in the fall. How do you guys feel about that? How we feeling? How we vibing, folks? And some responses. And one of the responses, Fatima, said, I've been doing online tests, and I've been so used to having my notes available because when you're online, it seems like the norm is that professors allow a page of notes or just open notes test. I've been so used to, she said, open note test. It's going to be such a weird, um, change. I am lacking the words to articulate this, but it's going to be weird, I guess, transition or just complete 180 flip into not being able to use notes. And I didn't even think about that because, I'm like almost done. But I was like, oh yeah, that sucks a lot. It's kind of fucked up because these freshmen, this freshman class, right? Class 2024, I guess you would call them. Um, they started college when online was the thing. And so this norm of, using notes, yeah, it was a norm. It's the normal. And now they're going to have to go back to how college was before. And I had forgotten how college was before. I mean, I didn't forget. I wasn't thinking about it at all. Just, oh yeah, there was life before the past year. And the life before the past year was you study and then you show up. And the professor says, all right, clear your areas, just have a pencil out, and we're going to take this test for the next 50 minutes. And I forgot. Once again, I didn't forget. I hadn't thought about it in a while. That's how we used to do things. We would just show up, and whatever's in the dome is what you got. And to me, that's insane. To think that we're going to have to go back to that, not being able to use notes. Luckily, I don't have to do much more of it. Not too much more school in fall quarter. But then I was thinking about these freshmen, they've never known anything else. And usually freshman year, that's when you work out all the kinks. Well, no, you don't. Things are very kinky for me still. That's not how you use those words, but you never really, I don't know, like you always are figuring out it, you're figuring it more and more out every quarter. But freshman years when there's a lot of those, like the most extreme growing pains, I think. Um, and so it's nice to have that freshman year to work through them because the curriculum isn't too difficult at that point. It is difficult, yes, but it is the easiest, or it is the least difficult it will be in your tenure here. And so to come back sophomore year and then I guess that's when they're going to experience college for the first time. When I say college, I mean like taking a test with no notes, and like in that lecture hall environment. To do that with a second year curriculum, I think is fucked. It's so, like, how screwed are they, right? I mean, everyone will be going through it together, so it will be a, group sentiment, and it's not like it's just happening on a personal level. But like the classes above them, and even the classes below them, like the freshmen will come in, class of 2025, they're going to come in and get the traditional college thing. I mean, everyone's going to be masked up, whatever. But like they're going to be taking these entry level courses in person, no notes, like whatever. But that class of 2024, oh man, oh shit, I can't imagine that. There's a conversation that happens a lot about winter quarter. Winter quarter sucks. It notoriously is the fucking worst. And I've tried to break this down with people, like, why does it suck? We're all in agreement, it sucks. But why does it suck? Getting to the bottom of that is one of college students' greatest mysteries, I would say. But, we're only in college for 4 years, so once we get up on out of here, we don't have to care anymore. So no one's really solved the mystery, right? Well, no, I think I got it. I think I got it. I am all knowing, So if anyone's gonna have the answers, you know, uh, winter quarter sucks for a lot of reasons. Let's start with the most obvious one. Seasonal depression. Much, it's raining, it's pouring. Um, Lectures are still fucking boring, and yeah, the rain, I think, and the darkness, it just makes everything feel worse. Um, Seasonal depression. Don't need to lay it out for you. You know what it is. So I think that's number one, why winter quarter sucks. The second thing, this one I don't think a lot of people touch on, but you just came off a 3-week break. You do winter break, it's 3 weeks. Not this last one, but you turn it off for 3 weeks and then you're just expected to come back full speed. And that's hard to just, shut the system off and then restart it that fast. Either you shut it off, and it becomes, that part of your brain becomes so dormant, or it goes so quick that you never actually got a real break and you come back and you're still tired from the last quarter. And then, sucker punch, because spring break is 1 week. So spring quarter, it just bones you even harder, Because then you never fully recoup, and then you try to do it in summer. But then, you failed your classes during those quarters. So now you got to take summer courses. And it's all just a big hoopla, I don't know what hoopla means. It's a smorgasbord of tomfoolery. I think half those words were real. And then another thing, and this is, I think, the smartest point that I've come up with, and I'm sure other people have said it, but the first time I heard it was when I thought of it. So I'm going to take credit for this one. Your classes can look the same. Like, let's say you took a math, physics, and English course your fall quarter. You could still take a math, English, and physics course your winter quarter, but it will inherently be more difficult because it's the next class. Like, let's say you take Math 21A, right? Beginning calculus. That's why I took fall quarter. Well, in winter quarter, you're still taking calculus. It's still Math 21, but now it's Math 21B. And so, yes, it's the same amount of units. It's a math class, but it is inherently more difficult because it's the next step of math. Plus, Math 21A, that was pretty much a review of what I did in high school. So Math 21B, now this is brand new stuff. Every day, 3 days a week, you're being hit with new information. This is all brand new. 21A, fall quarter, you can get away with more because it's all just kind of like one big refresher course. But when you get in that part of college where every single piece of information is brand new, that makes it even more difficult. And so the combination of, weather and, coming off a break and then just inherent progression of courses being more difficult or more advanced, I think all of those make winter quarter really shitty. And the reason I bring this up is because it's that same pattern you see UC, University of California. It's that same pattern I think we'll see with this current freshman class. In that, they might be taking like these same, they're still taking college courses next year. But that factor of changing, the notes thing and like not taking them in person with a bunch of other people, that on top of all this curriculum being more advanced, not being freshman curriculum, I think is going to be the perfect storm of fuckery, And so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out and see if more people, I hate to say it, but it'd be interesting to see if more people fall by the wayside because it's going to get, it's going to ramp up real hard. Now, I mean, if you're a freshman and you're hearing this, don't freak out. You're probably going to be fine. It's just something I've been thinking about, And it might not even, in practice, it might not even turn out to be that bad. But I'd be remiss if I didn't at least point it out, that I think this is a possibility of happening, that this has a possibility of happening. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. See how this freshman, no one gives a fuck about the incoming freshmen, they'll do whatever. It's this current group of freshmen. I think we need to be a little more easy on them, There's a lot of adjusting that has to happen. Also, I didn't even talk about this, as a freshman, your housing is set, you're in the dorms. You're like all, the people around you are freshmen too. They get what you're going through. It's very easy to make friends in that environment. You come back that second year, now you're in, off-campus housing or whatever. You're not in the dorms. That social aspect never had time to, get built properly. And so, that got lost too. I think it's a very integral part of a college student's development, that freshman experience, everything it entails. And the fact that kind of got, taken away from a lot of freshmen. It's going to be interesting to see how they navigate the future of their college experience, Yeah. Could I do it? Can I do a whole year online and then come back? I mean, yeah, because I'd be ignorant. I wouldn't know what to expect. I'd be like, well, I kind of nailed the freshman year. Actually, I don't even know if I would have nailed online. Who knows? But then, yeah, coming back to do that. Oh, man, I mean, there's so many. I think it's just, what is that? Let me look up a word real quick. I wrote down a word earlier today, and I want to use it because it's a new word to me, and I'm big into using new words. Every time I don't know a word, I write it down. I have a notes tab that probably has hundreds. You can't see, I know these, but it has like hundreds of words on it. And anytime I read a book, I like make a notes thing specifically for that book. Let's see. Okay. Let me recapitulate. I really hope it did. Is that the right word? Okay, yes. Let me recapitulate what I was saying. And now I forgot my main points because I was looking for that word. God damn it. See, having a big vocab isn't more helpful. No, it's more helpful when you have it. I clearly just don't have it yet. And this is why the developmental stage is so important. See, folks, you got to work out all the kinks, or you end up as kinky as me. Once again, that's not how you use those words. But to recapitulate my points here, I think current freshman class, with all the growing pains they have to go through with in-person college on top of a second year level curriculum, I think is going to be interesting to see play out. That's the point. So yeah, we'll see. Another thing, change topics, folks. Change topics. I got them on the dome. I don't even need to consult my phone, my cellular device, even though I just spent probably a solid 35 seconds looking for the word recapitulate. So, I said I didn't need to consult my phone, and I just did that. So really, you can't trust me, is what I'm saying. But next point I had my points in the dome. I prepped for this test, so I didn't read my notes. See, I'm already getting back into the in-person mindset. But second thing I want to talk about, this podcast. We got about 15 minutes left here, folks. Oh, okay, so just hang on. Remember, I got you, you got me for these 45 minutes. Only 15 left. We've been doing great so far. Debatable. But The other thing I wanted to bring up was I had this written down like 2 weeks ago, but college, and I'll probably talk about this in more depth later. College YouTube videos. Um, the standard route, you know, is to make tips and tricks, all that jazz. Tips and tricks, day in the life. Um, we won't talk about day in the lives because those make sense, I guess. Um, Tips and tricks videos are just like advice videos about college. What's the point? What's I, it's hard to tackle this because there's so much to say about it, and I haven't even really thought about it at all. It was just a bullet point. Like I didn't even flesh it out that much. But let me just try to take this piece by piece. Um, my own approach to the genre, as you've probably seen from like the content I make, I try not to make like advice, college advice videos, or just like advice nonsense in general. And if I do, like I've done the Q&A and stuff like that, and I have made advice videos. I'm not, I don't want to be a hypocrite here. I've obviously done it. I just haven't done like much of it. And anytime I do it, I try to make it funny. I try to incorporate humor in it. So it's entertainment, and then um, the entertainment serves as a vehicle for the information. And the fact that I never try to like really make these tips videos and stuff, like it's not a large chunk of my channel. Um, that's why it's always surprising when someone's like, "Oh, thanks, your videos were helpful," because a lot of times I don't get how they could be, because so many of my videos are it's just looking at something and then just making jokes. Maybe I don't get it from a viewer's perspective, but I've been told, like my videos are helpful in like learning about college, and it doesn't make sense to me because I don't make these like tips videos or like these about informational videos. That's the thing. I think this is the point I'm trying to get to. See, we're working through it together here, or we're not, but you're like listening to me try to work through it. I don't try to make informational stuff. I try to make entertaining stuff, or entertainment stuff. And so then it's weird to me when people are like, "Oh, thanks for the informative stuff," and I was like, I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to. That's cool. You got that. I wasn't trying to do that though. But these like tips videos, they all say the same thing. I guess this is why I don't do them, because they all say the same shit. It's like, study, socialize, um, like how many, like, is it genuinely helpful to just hear a college student say, making a schedule is helpful? Like, is that like, do people genuinely get value out of hearing that? I have to acknowledge, hearing it from a college student is a much more trustworthy source. So it's nice to, get that confirmation that, oh yeah, this is actually how things are. It's nice. I mean, like, the things are obvious, and I get that it's nice to hear someone reaffirm a belief you have. But it's like, I don't know. I think it's that, like, it's just that, right? Hold on. Excuse me. Sorry. It's just that, right? You have these beliefs already. None of this information is new. It can't be, right? Like someone saying to use a planner. That's not new to you, right? You think, oh, maybe I should get a planner, and then hearing it from a college student, you're like, okay, yeah, you know what? This bridges the gap. I'm now gonna buy a planner. It's just that, right? Like none of this information is new. It's just confirming already held beliefs. It's got to be that. It's got to be that, right? Because all these like, oh man, this is tough. I don't want to like that's. I don't want to like say it's bad to make those videos. I just think it's pointless. You know. I've never understood college tip videos. Like I totally get why they exist, but I don't. I think my big question is, do people actually get value out of them? I mean, yes, they do. They obviously do because they exist and they're successful. You know, these videos. But that's the thing. Just because something is successful, that doesn't mean it's valuable, right? Like Seinfeld was a successful show. Doesn't mean it was entertaining. Shit. No, Seinfeld's fine. Seinfeld's kind of fun. I remember watching some Seinfeld shows. I think they're fun. Wouldn't binge it, but it's nice to have on. But, man, and like, you know, you see pieces of content be produced by like corporations and like, we'll take college for example. You see content produced by colleges, and yeah, the numbers are there. But is that maybe because the numbers were always going to be there? Like, no matter what boilerplate bullshit you put out, people are gonna watch it. It doesn't matter what you picked, you know, what shade of beige you picked. They were gonna consume it anyways. I think what's bleeding through here a little bit is my opposition to a lot of content produced by corporations. And I use the term corporations loosely, I guess. Like when I see a commercial, right? I'm like, does anyone actually watch this commercial and then go buy this product? But a lot of time that's not how it works. It's not one for one like that. Like, oh, I see commercial, I go buy thing. It's usually just that repetitive prevalence or like exposure that then works on your subconscious, right? And then next time you're at the store, you're like, oh yeah, I remember seeing those chips. Maybe I'll give them a try today. So in the same way, is it just that with those videos, that those tips videos get consumed so much because the college student, maybe they don't know it, but it works on their subconscious. And so when they watch so many, maybe, you know, it's like death by 1,000 cuts, right? They just need to be cut 1,000 times with the same tips so that eventually they will just go out and buy a planner. Is that what it is? I don't know. I man, I don't know. Like, how many aesthetic planners do you need to see before you realize, oh, I just need to study more? Like, uh, like, do you really need a Brooke from what ABC College to tell you? Oh, I shouldn't use a name because then people might think I'm referencing a real person. I don't actually know a Brooke. I think I know I know two Brookes. I went to high school with a Brooke. And then my physics teacher in high school, his name was Brooke. Oh, and then in elementary school, I went to school with these two twins. One of them's name was Brooke. I think I only know 3 Brooks. So yes, we'll use the name Brooke just for my. Do you really need Brooke from ABC College to tell you? Oh yeah, studying in a quieter place is more effective. It's like, yeah, no fucking shit, Brooke. And when it rains, things get wet. Like, what? Okay, god damn it. But then people like watch that, and you're like, should I tell people that studying will make them do better on tests? Should I say that in a video? I don't know. Luckily, in a year, I won't have to give a shit anymore because I'll be out of college, right? So none of this will matter. I feel like, I mean, this is, people say this all the time, right? But, like, well, no one says this, but I've had this conversation with a lot of people. Like, college is allowed to get away with so much shit because you just have to endure the abuse for 4 years, and then you can just move on and be like, well, I'm not doing that anymore, so I don't give a shit. It's the same reason you can turn a blind eye to some bad thing that's not happening to you. You know, it's the same thing. Like, once you're done with college, the bad thing's not happening to you. So all the problems you had in college, don't waste your time, you know? So that's why, you know, college, or the school system will never get reformed because the abuse you endure is temporary. And once you're out of it, you're like, man, whatever. I don't have to do it anymore, so I don't give a shit what happens to anyone in the past. College is great. Love it. Like, seriously, college has given me so many good things, you know, in life. I give it so much credit for that. But, I mean, it's 100% a privilege. But I've talked about this with people. Just because something's a privilege doesn't mean it can't suck, you know? So, I don't really know where I was going to go with this topic of discussion, but we got here. Yeah, it's the thing. I didn't really flesh out much before this. I've also been getting that thing again, you know, where I get nervous to record these podcasts because I think they have to be good. Yeah, they don't have to be. And that's, I think, why I usually wait to record them this late, because I'm just so nervous that they won't be good. But it's that constant reminder, and I'm just repeating what I've been saying for the past, 5 months. These don't have to be good. They just have to be. And congratulations to us. 5 months of the I'm Doing Well podcast. Oh my God. It's going strong still. It's great. Thank you guys so much for the support on it. It means a lot, as always. I always say that. It means a lot. Shout out to the Blue Names. The Blue Names in Discord group. You know what, guys? I know the two of you. The Blue Names, the only benefit right now, a big one, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a Patreon, and it's $1 a month, and literally all you get from joining it is, if you're in my Discord, your name turns blue. And I'm adding a bonus every Friday. I will wish you a good Friday and a good weekend. So look at that. It's time to buy and get in there and become a Blue Name. Because, the perks, the perks are beyond. Just beyond. They're just, they're a paradigm of greatness is what they are. So yes, shout out to the Blue Names. I will hit you with that TGIF on Friday. Thank you so much for listening. Happy 5 months. Thank you for the support on my recent video. And I will see you. No, I won't. But I'll post another podcast next week, and then you might listen to it. So speak at you. Well, speak at a camera and then you consume it. All right. Well, this is too long. Speak at you next week. Bye.